What is happening? What? My name is Matt Bradford. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a technique video. It's going to be about basically reverse rolls. Okay, so basically what we're going to talk about today is this idea of like a... So aren't you glad you came here for technique? Right? This idea of a reverse roll. That's really, it's kind of a bedrock of what I do. Now, let me start with this. I'm not the technique guy, obviously. As we just saw, if you're really looking for like traditional lap steel technique, then lessonswithtroy.com, MikeWitcher.com. Those are the guys that really do it right. And am I sitting on my headphone cable? Okay. Whew. Those are the guys that really do it right. And if we're talking about technique, I'm going to show you how I do it. Obviously, the way I play is a little different than like a traditional lap steel guy. So, yeah, welcome. Stick around. We're going to do this. Now, what we're talking about is a reverse roll. That's based off what's called a banjo roll. I don't have all of that tradition and technique and history, but we're here and we're going to do it. So the idea behind it is this. I'm in open D tuning, right? D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So, you know, if you're not in tune, get in tune. And the idea behind it is I'm at the 12th fret right now. Okay, and I use that kind of when I'm playing fast licks. Right, that backward roll. You can hear those backward rolls in a lot of what I'm doing. Even if I'm going up, there's a lot of that. Right, or I have a lot of those backward rolls to add some speed and to add a little bit of zhuzh to what I'm doing. So the basic idea that we're gonna start with is gonna just be on the third, fourth, and fifth strings. Okay, so your F sharp, your A, your D, F sharp, D, A. Now, okay, let me throw up a picture of the D major pentatonic. No, just the D major scale in open D. And you can see that the open strings are all in place. Now, this second area right here, this second area that's highlighted here in orange, let's say, okay, that is a minor E chord, but we're only going to use the third, fourth, and fifth strings. Okay. The way that the major scale lays out, you have a major 1 chord, you have a minor 2 chord, minor 3 chord, major 4 chord, major 5 chord, right? Minor 6, and then a diminished 7. Nice, very, very pleasant sounding chord. Okay, but for now, we're just gonna take 3, 4, and 5 from this scale pattern again. So now, the way I want you to think of it, we're gonna look at this and we're gonna okay. 3, 4, 5 on your open strings is your first roll. Now, the way to keep that clean, by the way, is going to be to block what's called pick blocking. I'm terrible at it. It's not something I do. This is not a technique I'm good at, but it's something that pedal steel players do, or you could palm block. Watch a video on that. I'm going to use it as the basis of this exercise, but it's not really something I would do. But right, we're going to use that open D to start. And I'm going to put the metronome at 120, right? Okay, And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go 3 4 5 3 4 5 3 4. See what I'm saying? 3 4 5 3 4 5 3 4. Start over. Start over. Okay, so we end up with a 16th note pattern, an 8th note pattern at 120, which is okay. And again, a pedal steel player could keep that totally clean with each thing. And I'm not that guy. But once we get to our second string, our second chord, which is going to be the E minor chord, now we have a minor shape. And this is kind of the basis of this, is this minor. You can see that now I can keep it clean because I'm blocking with my bar. And what's happening is each time I pull off to a lower string, my fingers that are down behind my bar are muting the string on top of it. So the third string is not ringing anymore, it's muted. Now these two are both muted. See what I'm saying? Okay, so we have our F sharp minor is the next chord in this scale. Right, and if you pull out, again, the thing, I've got a link down below to where I got that particular chord chart, but anywhere you do it, you want to know what these chords are. This is your 3 chord, 4 chords major, 5 chords major, 6 chords minor, and then 7 chords diminished. It's a trickier pattern. It's one that I use a lot around a different set of strings, so learn it. And then back starts over. Working my way up. So again, gear used. Gear, I know, the gear, it's important. It's very important, the gear used. I'm using my DCC Darko's Custom Creations Plexi. I'm using an Empress Effects compressor just for a little bit of like extra like tightness. It's a Righteous Sounds Bluebird neck pickup, and I'm using a 2 Notes Captor X, which is not in the shop, but it's as a IR loader, so that I can talk and not be blowing out my speakers and everything. So, okay, back to the exercise. So we're using this exercise, and the way it's going to work is this. I'm going to start my metronome at 120. And we're going to do, it's going to be 8th notes, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, for each chord. Ha! Okay, I'm going all the way up. I can go all the way back down. You've seen me do these metronome exercises before. You don't need to see me speed it all the way up, and also I can't because this is an exercise I just came up with. But it's a good one, and so you should do it, and I should do it too, and that'll be the way we learn together. But we're going to use this pattern of right, going up and down. And the reason that this is important, by the way, is just this is the basis of my fast licks, right? So when I'm you can see they're showing up in those licks. There's a lot of that. It's not just a constant over and over, although it could be, but it's not. I'm throwing it in there. mean, it's showing up a lot. So we're going to take that exercise and we're going to practice with it. And we're going to learn that a major chord looks like this. Minor chord, major chord, diminished chord, right? Major. We start to learn, again, more about where the chords are in the scale. And then also, we start to learn, you know, some of the patterns that work. Okay, so just by the way, I have a Patreon. The backing track for today's video is on Patreon. At the time of the filming of this video, the Patreon is $5 a month. And I've put the link to the backing track in the description. I hope you will join me there. It makes it possible for me. It doesn't yet, but I'm hoping that it will make it possible for me to do more of these videos because they do take quite a bit of time to put together. Okay, so let's take the concept and let's put it into the concept of a blues. So we already talked about like having it up here. Now that's a flat 3, so that's an 11, 12, 12. 11, 12, 12 on 3, 4, 5. 11, 12, 12. And then I'm going up to the 4 and then down to the 7. And if you don't know what those numbers mean, I hope you'll go back and check out my like how to play blues or how to use scales or some of the stuff. We talk in numbers here, right? Or just Google how that works. But like, so we're going flat 3, 1, 5, up to the 4, down to the 7, or against the 1 chord. And then check it out. I have this other move that we haven't practiced yet, but we can. Again, anywhere there's 3 strings, you can do it. But that's 12, 13, 12, 12, 13, 12. Which is another cool little pattern that shows up on here. Right? Another good one, just against the 1 chord, just as we're talking about patterns. So we have, which is really simple. I mean, that's up to the 4, up to the 7. Okay, never mind. I got distracted. Anyway, we're back. Whew. Check this out. So this, there it is. I know how to play guitar. Top 3 strings, 5, 3, 1. Now that's the same as the minor chord pattern from down below, but it's 7, 8, 8. And again, against the 1 chord. So I can just do these reverse rolls against some of these chords, and it really... It's a pattern that you're going to see repeat all over the neck, either the straight across, right, or the down, the 1, 2, 2, right? Nope. And then you have that, which is a 7, 5, 3. Any of those reverse rolls, as you get used to them, can become really fast and really nice little accents to something. So instead of playing, I can go, and it just sounds a little fancier and a little nicer and a little more fun, a little more in context. So we're taking that reverse roll against the 4 chord. Now, it's a major chord on the 4. Let's do this. Okay, so against the 4 chord, okay, hopefully this will be normalized in the video, but I'm having some volume issues because my tube preamp may be dying. Okay, so technical issues. In the context of a 4-chord, this move, so the 4 in a blues is dominant. I use some minor against the major as well because that's a common. But check it out. In this case, dominant. And again, if you haven't watched some of my videos, please go back and watch them. We're gonna do so I have this really fast roll, which gives me like a nice little flamboyant little flash here for the and then I go back to the 1, and you can see where these rolls are starting to show up. Now, I want you to find your places for them, but they fit around any 3 notes, especially if you only have 1 fret in between the notes. It can be done with the 2 frets, but it's harder. 1 fret, unless you get higher up on the thing, but 1 fret is a really doable. And we see a lot of that as a recurring pattern. I don't know why, again, I'm yelling at you, but it is where I get excited. But this is a recurring pattern, right? All over the neck. I'm sure it's other places. I'm blanking right now. But we have that. We have our major pattern, which is straight across, and obviously that. Going back at the end is trickier. I guess it's not. It depends. It really depends on what you're doing. Whatever. I'm learning too, apparently. There's a cool move on a 5-chord that I've never done before in my entire life. So let's see. So what I'm doing is 7, 8, 7, and then 7. So that's a 5, 3, flat 3, major 7, and then a 2. And that's a really nice little move. Let's see how that sounds over the 5. Now look, here's the other thing. This is just one technique. It's going to help get speed and stuff going on inside, and it's going to be really nice. But at the end of the day, really, playing is all about melodies. I've got a whole bunch of videos about melodies. No one seems to care. It's fine. I'm not incredibly resentful of that at all for any reason. But this is going to help add speed to the playing. But the key is melody. The key is when I get to the... You know, when the song starts, that's the nice note. Right in the fast shit. The fast stuff is fine, but when I start just playing all the fast stuff, it gets boring really fast. The key is still the melodies. So find the melodies. I hope this helps add that one little piece. And, you know, let me know what you want to see in the comments. We're going to talk about the... I mean, even there... I mean, that's... a lot of this stuff I do sort of like without thinking about it. So this is fun because it makes me break it down and think about it. But at the end of the day, I want you to just consider this is a fast thing. Add it to your arsenal, add it to your repertoire, keep practicing, and let me know what else you want to see in the comments. And yeah, backing tracks on Patreon. Thanks for hanging.